Okay guys, so before starting, I will create a path for a normal lesson without specifying like ID or a slug or anything. This is just to show you the general template for a lesson, because it's very important to understand the general template in order to know how to build the models according to it. So here we have this one. Now we can start the server. So let's go to /courses/lesson. I think it's in this way. Okay, great. Here we go. Okay, so very important considerations to take now. First, that we need the course title. This is something obvious. We have here the lesson title. This is still something obvious. Other things to take into consideration is to make this page fully dynamic. In other words, if you are now in the lesson 2 title, it means that this one should be closed and this one should be open, and the number here should be 2/2 because I am in the lesson 2, so it means I am in the second lesson of this category. Fine, so this category should be open. You see that it can be opened and closed manually, but I mean when you request a lesson, so imagine you are in the lesson 2 title, so this one should be 2/2 and this category should be opened. Okay. One other thing is the buttons, and they are something very important. If I'm in the first lesson, I cannot come back to a previous lesson, so I need to hide this button. If I am in the last lesson of the last category, I will not have the next lesson button, so we need to configure this one as well. If I am in lesson 2 title, okay, and this is 2/2, but when I click on the next lesson, I will be in the lesson 3 title. So in this case, now this one, it was closed, now it should be opened, and now this one should be highlighted, bold. We will deal with that to make it like in another color, so when we are in a selected lesson, so it will be in another color. And in addition, this one will be opened. This was 2/2 will become back to 1/2, and this one starts 1/3, then 2/3, then 3/3, and so on. Okay, I'm just trying to explain these ideas because they are very important in order to deal with the lesson tables in the database. One last thing is about the lesson itself. A lesson could be a video lesson or a text lesson, written lesson. If it is a video lesson, it should have a URL field for the URL of the video and timing here. In addition, here, if it is written, there will be no need for showing this, but just showing this icon. I think we covered everything. Later on, we still have something to do, but this we will deal with it later on. Let me go back to the testing course. Okay, same problem. This shouldn't be because we are still in development mode, so no need for the HTTPS. Here we have the same thing. We will come back here to render the data. After rendering them in the lesson.html, we will come back and show them here, and they are going to follow the same way. Fine. One other thing is that instead here you have, for example, 1 hour 30 minutes. For example, 1 hour 30 minutes is the sum of all the videos in this category. Okay, so we need to deal with that also. Okay, so let's start now working on the lessons. So our starting point is going to be here. Okay, so now let's start by building a class that is lesson category and not lesson. Let's start with the lesson category first, because this one is going to be a foreign key for a lesson. Okay, so we have a title for a lesson category that is here, max length equal to 100. We have course equal models dot foreign key, that is a course. Related name is categories, and we have on delete models dot cascade. Okay, and here this one should be course in this way, and okay, title, the course of this category, and a sequence, the sequence of this category, and we will talk about that in a moment. Let's make it positive integer field, so it is just positive. Okay, what else? We need to define in the meta some relations. First, ordering. We are going to order the data, so whenever you retrieve them from the databases or anything related to the different records of lesson categories, the ordering is going to be according to sequence. Okay, unique together, it means that for these following attributes, they should be unique. Okay, let me explain. So I will input course and sequence. This means that in a course, for the given course and sequence, they should be unique. It means that this lesson category has, for example, sequence number 5 in the course named testing course. You cannot have another lesson category in the course testing course that have the sequence number 5. Okay, so this is the idea. Additionally, we need to provide verbose name plural, and I will call it lesson space categories. Great. Next step is the str function. So here we go. This is the str function that takes a self and it return self.title and for example the self.course.title. Okay, next step is to define some important functions inside the class lesson category. I will write first the name of the function so you will get a better understanding of the functionality of these functions. So the first one is get the previous by sequence of self, and obviously the other one is going to be get next by sequence. So the main reason here is just to get the next item or the previous item. Okay, so let's start by the first one, that is return. So it will return for me what? A lesson category dot objects dot filter, and we will filter the sequence according to less than. So if you don't know what's this, it's just for simplicity less than. So sequence dot less than equal to self dot sequence. So I'm taking a lesson category, I'm filtering it so that the sequence number is less than the given sequence, that is self dot sequence, and for sure course is equal to self dot course. So and then order by the descending order of sequences. Okay, so the previous one, if you imagine, let me imagine it just to make sure that it's correct. I'm writing them 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, and it's less than. Okay, yeah, and then take the first one. Okay, take the first one. This one is going to be some way the same. The only difference is that I'm going to take the greater than, so the first one that is greater than the self.sequence when I'm sorting them in the correct way, ascending way. So I don't know if you get it. Maybe if you think about the get next by sequence, you will understand it. I'm first ordering them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I'm in 5. I want 6, for example. So first thing, I'm ordering them from 1 to 7, and the first one that is greater than, so it's going to be the 6. Here is the same idea. Okay, I'm ordering them descending and taking who is less than. So if I'm in 5 and they are starting 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, okay, and they are in this way, and I'm taking then who has less than as a number, so it's going to be the 4, and the first one in this case. Okay, so now we completed, I think, the lesson category. Each category has different lessons, as we said before, and it refers to a course. Let's start with the lesson itself, because here we have a lot of work to do. So let's start. Lesson models dot model. First thing is lesson type choice or choices. Written, if it is a written lesson. Video. Here we go. Let's start. A lesson has first a title, which is a character field of max length 200. It has a description that is models.text field. I think we do not need it. I think we do not need this one. There is no need to insert a description. We can directly then use the rich text field to insert a rich text field for the content if it is a written lesson. Let's go directly and say course models dot foreign key of course, and related name is lessons, and on delete models dot cascade category, which is also a foreign key, lesson category, related name lessons, and on delete models dot cascade. Perfect. Lesson type. A lesson type is models dot character field maxlen 10, and the choices are taken from lesson type choices. Here choices. Okay. Content. The content, in case if it is a written lesson, it's a rich text field, blank equal true, and null equal to true. So for written lessons, a video underscore URL models dot URL field, blank equal to true, null equal to true as well. This is for video lessons. One additional thing for the videos is video length, which is models dot integer. Yeah, let's keep it integer without so for example, if it is a video of 23 minutes, so we write 23. If it is 23 and more, we will keep it as 23, so it's fine. Yeah, and this one is for video lessons, so in this case the same thing here, blank equal to true, null equal to true. Great. We have now two additional things, which is sequence in category. So the sequence of this lesson in the category itself, positive integer field, and the sequence in course. The sequence of this one in course, models.positive integer field. Okay, now let's start with the class meta. Ordering according to sequence in course. Unique together are two in this case. So this is the first one, and this is the second one. The first one is the course and the sequence in course. The second one is the category and the sequence in category. Great. One last thing, def underscore underscore str underscore underscore self, and return f self dot title dash self dot course dot title. Fine. Now let's start with the functions. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is to define the functions needed. Let's start by the first one. The first one is going to be get previous. So let's start writing get previous by sequence in category. So in the same category, how to get the previous one? So it is return of lesson. So to return here, I'm talking about a lesson. So lesson dot objects dot filter category equal to self dot category. So it should be in the same category, where sequence underscore in underscore category underscore underscore less than the self dot sequence in category. The last thing is that, okay, well, I can add the course, but since I'm pretty sure that I'm in the same category and the same category it is related to a course, so here we do not need any additional thing. I'm going to order by sequence in category and retrieve the first. Great. When we do one, we can do the next one. So directly copy paste here. Let me just make sure here I did correctly. Okay, perfect. And here as well. So now get next is going to be lesson.objects.filter category equals self.category underscore underscore gt greater than, and here without the minus sign here. And here we go. We finished the first two functions. Let's go to the second function. That is to the third function. Sorry. Get previous lesson. Okay. So now we are going to retrieve the previous lesson. Previous underscore lesson is equal to self.get previous by sequence and category. Okay. In this case, if previous lesson is none, okay, I will write it all and then I will explain it. We have previous lesson is equal to self.category.get previous by sequence, and if previous lesson, again, now in this case, if it is not none, so previous lesson is equal to previous lesson dot category, or sorry, here maybe there's something wrong. Okay, here because I'm talking about category, so I would say category. Okay, so first I take a lesson, I check if it is none, so I need a category because I need to jump, and then if it is not none the category, I will here say that I have a previous lesson that is previous underscore category dot lessons dot order previous underscore category, which is this one, lesson dot order underscore by minus sequence in category dot first. Okay, let me explain. So first thing, I want to go to the previous lesson, and maybe I'm in the first lesson, so I don't have a previous. So first, what I try to do is to define previous lesson, that is get previous by sequence in category. So I'm in my category, I check if I have a previous lesson. If it is the case, so perfect. I will return it directly. Okay, so let me return it just before forgetting. Return previous lesson. So if on the same category, for example, I'm in a category of three lessons, and I'm in the middle, and I have a previous in the same category, so it will return me the previous lesson easily. Okay, if it is not the case, so if it is none, so maybe I am in the first course of that category, I don't have something before it, so it will give me none. In this case, I will go to previous category. To go to the previous category, I will say self.category.get the previous by sequence, which is a function defined in the lesson category, where it gives me the opportunity to go to the previous category. Now, here I have the previous category, and I have two possibilities, that is none or not none. If it is not none, so it means there is a category before the current category, so I go there and take what? The last lesson. To take the last lesson, I order them in decreasing order, and then I take the first one, because it's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, and so on. I take the first one, which is the 10, okay? And, well, if there is no category, it will return me none in this case, because there is no previous category. So that's it. Let's copy it and do it again for the next lesson. Okay, so here, get next lesson. Next lesson is get next by sequence. Then, if next lesson is none, so next category is going to be self.category.get next by sequence. If next category is not none, so next lesson is equal to the next category here, dot lesson dot order by, not in decreasing order, and finally return it. It's the same logic. Okay, I think it's fine. It's enough for this video, so let's stop and then we continue.